Hello, hello. Sorry I'm late. It's like 9:05. I'll be around for maybe 40 minutes today. Tanner Foust, thank you for joining me. So, I don't know, I think this is only maybe the fourth, or is it the third Ustream we've done, but hopefully this time we won't have the same technical difficulties as last time where I was calling Victoria on my phone and I thought I wasn't broadcasting, and turned out it was. So anyway, I see there's some questions going on. It's what is today? It is Thursday, the 26th of April, and we are I'm headed to France this afternoon, to a track that's like an hour west of Paris. I think that's where the French event was last year. I think this one's at the same track. It may be a different one though. But in any case, this is the second round of the European Rallycross Championship. The first round was in England, and that championship is alive and well. It's been really fun so far. The Global Rallycross Championship in the States hasn't started yet. It doesn't start until next month at the Charlotte NASCAR race. It's after the nationwide race. Anyway, let's see how it's going. Joy, I am doing fine, thanks. Well, I see there's some questions going already here, so let me kind of dive in a little bit. Nice to see you guys. Brenna, nothing confirmed on the third season of Top Gear. We're trying to figure it out, get that going. And Genevieve, I would say the worst car I've driven. There's a lot of bad cars I've driven. One for the Top Gear show was that Yugo. It was just dangerous, really. I mean, it like puked gas out of the side. It had an oil leak, which was right in front of the tire, so it made it kind of weird to drive around a racetrack. That's probably one of them. There's been a lot of like newer cars that are pretty bad, but I'm not a big fan of the new Malibus. I mean, I don't know. Those kinds of cars are so weird. But that Yugo was something special. What was the best car you've driven? Maybe I read your question. Oh, no, you did say what was the worst car, Genevieve. So, best car, that changes. The Zonda that I drove in Italy one time is something that certainly sticks in my head. That's $1.5 million car designed by this eccentric little guy named Pagani, and Horatio Pagani, and he was awesome. He also made a watch, by the way, that apparently had the same number of moving parts as the car, and was like $300,000 watch. That's why I call him eccentric. Brilliant, but crazy equals eccentric, I think. Yeah, Jenny, I don't have any pets because I travel a lot. You're right. In fact, even like this plant right here, not real. If I had a pet, it would be a dog. I'd probably get a lab. I love labs. I love labs with a huge play drive, and a friend has a lab that when I throw a ball to, like this thing will literally not be able to walk. Like it'll just stretch out and lay on the ground, and tongue just hanging out on the grass. Won't be able to walk, but as soon as you touch the ball, his ears perk back up and he chases it. He runs down the ball. As soon as the ball's in his mouth, collapses. He can't run anymore. I love that about labs. Connor, I don't think I answered your question, but I'm going to go back and look and see if I can find it. No, I can't, so ask it again if you don't mind, Connor. Good morning, Jenna. Hope you're doing well, and it's my pleasure. First question from Joy. Any chance on teaching you to drift? I would love to. Joy, it's just not super easy because it's not legal to do on the street, and logistically it's hard to do. It would, I'd love to have like a drifting school to make something that fun accessible to a lot of people, but it's not something that's the best for a driving school. Driving schools usually get their make their income on like corporate deals. People come for fun and companies come with groups, and it should be a fun thing. But drifting is one of those things that some people will get it after a full day or 2 days of burning tires, and some people won't. And so with driving schools, the philosophy is kind of you never leave a man behind. And I think with the drifting school, some people are going to get left behind. So that's why I haven't done it, frankly, because I don't know if it's a good business model. But it still would be really fun to take people and teach people. Let's see, Nicole. What state has the best driving roads? That's a tough one because there are a lot of undervalued driving states in the East. I mean, Tennessee has some crazy roads. West Virginia has some awesome roads. The roads that I grew up driving on once I got my driver's license was when I was going to school in Virginia, Northern Virginia, and those roads are awesome. It's just there's too many damn people around. But the roads are like tunnels through the trees, and there's jumps. They're just awesome roads in Northern Virginia. But I would say some of the best roads really are in Northern California. Like when you take the 5 up towards like Monterey, there's the mountain range between Monterey and the desert. And that range of coastal mountains, or what I think that's the name of the range, there are roads that slice through there that are just epic. Some of the best banking turns and the condition of the road. Half Moon Bay, even as you get all the way up into San Francisco and San Jose, is just epic roads. Plus, they have a lot of racetracks up in Northern California, so I think a lot of real enthusiasts live up there with pretty bitchin' cars. Wow, from Manila, Claudine. Why did I go to Cebu? Yeah, they said they told me about Boracay. Yes, to answer your question. A group had already gone there, and we were sort of looking to get away from people because we'd been in Manila for weeks and weeks, and as you know, there are a lot of people in Manila. And Cebu City seemed like a place where we could go, get to a resort or get to some place kind of chill. Thought about scuba diving, doing moderately touristy things. I had already been on a couple trips with my a guy that was helping to host me, Charlie, a drifting guy, and he had taken me scuba diving with his girlfriend. It was phenomenal. Best Valentine's Day ever. But Cebu City turned out to be what it was about. Megan, thank you. I can use the good luck this weekend. Question. Starting to think you might be an animal lover. Yeah, I did grow up with animals. I grew up with brothers and sisters and animals. All kind of the same thing, really. And my sister had all kinds of pets, which, of course, means that the whole family had to take care of them. And we had, I want to say at one time we had 16 parakeets. I know there were was there turtles? When we were really young, there were turtles. We had a goat. When we lived in Scotland, we had a goat and a chicken. The goat was not smart. It was staked down in the yard, and every single day it would walk itself around the stake, really within probably about 10 minutes. It would walk itself around until its neck was like stuck against the stake, and it would sit there all day. The chicken was not smart either. It would lay eggs on the windowsills, stand up to look at the eggs, and the eggs would roll off and break on the ground, and the dog would just sit and watch the chicken do this for hours. It was really kind of bizarre. But we also had some dogs, and yeah, I do like dogs. We had cats too. Let's see. These are good questions. Do we keep any of the cars from Top Gear, Devin? I kept the Jeep sitting right outside my house right now. I got it, and I promptly had to put a few $1,000s into the wiring that Rutledge messed up with the can of beans. And but it's very drivable and ultra capable. Actually, there's these off-roading roads near my house here that I've been up there, and I've had mountain bikers tell me they've been riding there for 10 years and never seen a Jeep make it up there. And these things, this little CJ7, if you remember from the show, it was the Mojave Desert Show. It was an '83 CJ7, and it's bitchin'. It's really good. I'm really liking it. The electric car road trip, Christine. I would say, hi by the way, I would say that some of my favorite things from that trip, being a little bit of a nerd, the Carnegie Mellon Robotics Institute was cool. talking to them about kind of the future of electric cars, and their vision of sort of where electric cars are going are kind of interesting. And not necessarily being a big city dweller myself, I can't really relate to the need for electric cars. I understand the need globally, but I just don't want one. But if I lived in the city and my commute was like most people's commute, which is, a daily routine of, less than 7 miles or 12 miles or whatever, I'd be all over something like that. But their vision of electric cars was kind of cool. They talked about these pads, that you would park on. When you put a cell phone on a pad to charge and it just charges, you'd park a car in certain parking spots and it would get charged. And then you combine that with like the parking technology that's coming on, where maybe it'd be a self-valet, and a car would, you'd pull up to work, you literally get out of the car and go to work, and it would go park itself in the garage, and it would communicate with all the other electric cars in the garage to take turns on the electric charging pads to make sure that throughout the day or the night they all got charged up, and when you called down for your car to meet you at the front, it would be charged. It's kind of cool and ultra convenient, I could see, for people that live in the city and kind of have the same commute every day. For me, my commute yesterday was into the Mojave Desert, which an electric car I'm not sure yet would be great at, but the Raptor was pretty good, and I made my carbon footprint pretty big by taking it. Let's see. Gave people rides in the rally car. Yes, Joy. That was at SEMA. Was it SEMA? It was at SEMA in Las Vegas. And these are, these are events where you get sponsors to bring the car out and do that, because it's expensive to run the Rallycross car and the drift car. But maybe you're talking about the drift car, which was a speed dream ride event. It was awesome. Mario Andretti comes out there with 2 cars. There's Jason Pridmore, who has these super bikes with handles on the gas tanks, and you hold on to the back. I went for a ride with him at Sears Point last year. It was freaking awesome. We were at Laguna Seca, and we tore around the drift car. I saw a video up that was like the very first scoping run of the corkscrew, and I straightened out between the corkscrew and turn 9. The whole fun of the day for me was linking the corkscrew and turn 9, so I wish they would have got that on video, but we're going to probably put together our own little video and put that out. Also, we're putting together a video of the Raptor that I had an extra 2 days in Europe couple weeks ago, and Ford let me borrow a Raptor, and we went down the Nürburgring and took it out there, and it was a big hit for the people that were standing around the track, because they're Germans and they don't see big pickup trucks very often. But any chance of getting involved with Rally America Rallycross, Jenna? I don't know. I haven't heard much about that series or any official word on what exactly is happening. Maybe I have to look into that, but I think Rallycross is just an awesome sport, so hopefully. In fact, I put a video on my Facebook yesterday, I think it was, in the afternoon, that was like some highlights. But if you look around for videos of Rallycross, it's just awesome. So hopefully more Rallycross hits the States. Do I come into town early? I don't. For the GRC events, I try to, especially if there's something I can do with the track or with the team or whatever. But on the calendar for Charlotte, anyway, I don't think we are coming in early for that. I think it's kind of last minute in and first minute out kind of a thing. Any fun plans for my birthday, Aaron? I don't know. That just seems so far away. What month is it? It's towards the end of April. So yeah, I got a month and a half. I don't do any of the birthday month type stuff. But for my birthday, I don't know where I'll be. I remember seeing it on a calendar. When you're scheduling things through the year and you see your birthday pop up in the dates when you're scheduling something. So I know I'll be traveling for work during that. Yes, apparently, I did talk to Corolla before the celebrity race. And it's always good to touch base. This is for Jacob. It's always good to touch base with Adam. He's awesome. So it was good talking to him. We tried to get in touch several times. We tried to do podcasts and stuff like that, and I really want to get on his CarCast or podcast. He's just a fun guy to talk to and hang out with. Unfortunately, my season started getting busy as soon as we started talking about doing the podcast, And but anyway, I remembered from 2 years ago when we were doing the training where Adam might have been able to make up some time, and whether he used my tips or not, I don't know, but he won the race, so it's pretty awesome. It was a good year to be a pro, to be fair, because I think the fastest pro was Frederick Osbo, who I don't think has ever done road racing stuff before. Unfortunately, the year I was pro, it was Steve Millen, who's like one of the most famous road racing pros ever, and Jimmy Vasser, who's won in Long Beach like 11 times. So that was unlucky. But this year, if Adam was going to do it, this was going to be his year, and he knew it. He took advantage of it. He took all the tips that he could find, and congrats. It was pretty awesome. Adrian, thank you for that comment. Have I ever thought about doing a Top Gear US versus UK? Yeah, I think that's come to the plate a few times. It's not necessarily up to us whether or not that happens. It's really BBC and the powers that be that decide that kind of a thing. But our shows are very different, and there's not really a lot of overlap like maybe the UK and the Australian show, or the UK and the German show, or the UK and the Korean show. They're much more similar and much more controlled by BBC, but I think our show has really kind of taken on its sort of own direction. So I don't know if that overlap is ever going to happen, but I have worked with the UK guys and love hanging out with them, and still a big fan of their show. Portia, you're absolutely welcome. If I could go anywhere in the world, I don't know. It's always easy to think about vacation time as being like sand in the toes. I'll tell you where. I mean, I'd like to go somewhere in the Fijian Islands. I'm trying not to be cliche here, but I want to sleep on a thatched roof, stilted cabin, looking down into the water. I want to dive in and catch some food for breakfast. Okay, maybe that's too far, but I definitely want to be in a stilted thatched roof hut over the clear water. And the water preferably would be between 82 and 84 degrees. Yeah, that's in my mind's eye when I think of switching off and leaving the cell phone at home. That's the image I get. Or the Amalfi Coast in Italy. I'd love to go there and just stay right on a cliff edge and have coffee down on the beach. Saw the April Fool's Day pic. What was the beard for? Well, Megan, that was for, I was doubling in a movie. And it was pickups of a movie I was shooting earlier, but that we were shooting in LA. Somebody told me it looked like I might have been Dirty Sanchez. But it was a beard that was like not natural. I kind of wish I could grow something like that. Not really, because then I'd really have to remember to shave every day. Okay. Right now I just have to shave right here every day, pretty much, so I don't get this like little punk, wisp on my upper lip. Looks like a cat fell asleep on my face, kind of. A shout out to Kelsey and Alex. Hope you're doing well. Cool. Thanks for watching the show. Yeah, I know they're playing some reruns. It's unfortunate we only get on like 10 or 16, Tuesdays a year, but hopefully they do play some reruns in the episode. I'd love to do more episodes, so hopefully that will happen. Do I go to bed early, or am I a night owl? Last night I was a bit of a night owl, and I should have gone to bed early, and I could say that I'd say half the mornings I should probably look back at the night before and think that same thing. But with traveling, it's kind of weird. Like if I travel from Europe and then come back to the States, then I'm tired early and I'm awake early, and it's actually a good thing, because right now it's 9:25 here, and I've gotten a lot done this morning because I woke up at 5:45. But if if I'm in town for a week, then I'm definitely not waking up 5:45 every morning. Do I come to town early? Okay, I've been backtracking. Yeah, it was a very fake beard. The New Jersey Rallycross is on. Okay, thanks for the link, Daniel. I'll check that out. I like that track. That was cool. We worked to develop that track a little bit, so hopefully that's a good event. Jackie. All electric drift car? No, I did not see that link. I'm going to have to look for it. It's going to be at FD. I always thought about doing a drift car and electric. It would be awkward though, right? It would be really awkward. We'll have to see how that pans out. I did not break in the Rockstar surfboard yet. One, I don't know if I'm good enough to get on like a 5-foot surfboard. The thing's maybe 5'6". And surfing is one of those things that I feel like I still suck at, but I still enjoy doing. Longboard, yes, I'm comfortable on that, but I haven't spent a lot of time on shorter boards. So, no, I haven't broken it in yet. Short answer. Let's see. Joy, another question. What was your first job before Top Gear aired? What was your first job that you had before Top Gear was aired, before you had done? First job that I had, let's see, I'm not exactly sure what the question is, but I think it's about what my first job was. My first job, I've had a lot of driving jobs. I was a lot guy at a car dealership. I drove buses for the town of Vail. I was a bag guy for a country club in high school for a little while, basically so that I could drive the golf carts. And the driving range in that it was Westwood Country Club. You could fly down this downhill grass driving range, and it would rain. It was always wet, especially big puddles down at the bottom, and we would try to do as many 360s as we could. Put one golf cart in a pond, which was bad. And I got my friend a job, Mike Daniels, who almost jumped a golf cart through the charging barn, which was on the second floor of this barn, and you'd go full throttle. They were electric. Go full throttle down, bounce up this ramp, big sliding turn into like the charging row at the top of the barn. You go flying towards the end of the barn, and then the move was, rather than, lifting off the gas and hitting the brakes to park it next to the charger and plug it in, was to just slam it in reverse while you're at full throttle and let the backward spinning tires stop you right in the perfect spot. Grab the plug and plug it in. Mike got the one cart that had like a really sticky shifter from forward to reverse, and it was his first day of work, and he went to put it in reverse, and he couldn't get it in reverse, and he hit the back of the golf cart in front of him and pushed that golf cart through the wall of the barn, and it just barely got hung up before dropping 2 stories down onto the grass below. That was not funny at the time, but years later it's hilarious to me. Have I ever been to Austria? Yes, I have. I raced there last year. I'm going to race there again this year. I've been skiing there, and I love it. Spectacular roads there. I got to drive an R8 through there a few years ago for the for Supercars Exposed, which was a speed show. Do I do my own stunts on Top Gear? Hell yes, I do. In fact, I think I have written in my contract that nobody else can do my stunts, because I think when you it depends on the stunt, but for technical driving stuff, yeah, I work very hard at that, and so I want to be authentic about that. Kim, glad that your friends are coming out to X Games. That's awesome. The best day to come is on race day, which is, no idea, Sunday, I'm guessing. Probably Sunday. But yeah, we will see you out there. It's going to be cool. Michelle T and Michelle M. Hi, how are you? Sorry you couldn't come play today. And also sorry to everybody else. I'm a little bit behind. I'm 7 minutes behind, and I've only got a few more minutes to go here. A shout out to your twin, Deanna, and best friend, Kelsey. Amanda, yeah. Hi, Deanna and Kelsey. It's my pleasure. I'm glad. Thank you for joining. And for whatever reason, that's the end. Hold on, let me refresh this real quick. So that's kind of Okay, here we go. We're back up. 7 minutes behind. Sorry, let me track back a bit. When's the next time I'm racing in the UK? That's where my thing skipped to. So sorry for those 6 minutes of questions that I just completely missed. Next time I'm racing in the UK is not until next year, I think. But I don't know for sure because there may be a road race or a time attack this season, and Top Gear may go there as well if we start shooting season 3. May head up there. But it's always nice to race in the UK because the weather, mainly. No, the weather's crap there, but it's people are great race fans there, so I love to race there. Why won't it let me watch the feed? It says I need to like before I can watch. I already liked. Alex, I don't have an answer for that. And since you can't hear what I'm saying right now, I guess we'll move on. But sorry anyway, in case you catch the recording later. Do I recommend karting, Adrian, as a way to get into racing? Yeah, I think karting's a great way to get some skills, especially. Getting into racing has a lot of different parts to it. It's got figuring out how to get other people to pay for your racing. It's got how to practice on your own, because you need to practice when other people aren't really watching. You need to have some sort of skill set or bag of tools ready for when somebody does decide to risk their job and help you. And karting is a great way to get started with that. It's even if it's just like a slick track at your local track. I mean, it's too bad like there aren't more slick tracks with gas karts where the rear tires are locked together, not like open spinning differential type karts, but with those kinds of slick tracks and stuff with gas karts, I think you can get a lot of skills. And it'd be nice if they're like season memberships. Make buddies with people that work there. Bring them cases of Rockstar, which is what I do. And maybe that will get you laps. How does it feel to be in the winner's circle, Tammy, and hear the anthem played, knowing that, yeah, you know what? That is one cool thing about racing in Europe, is when you do win and they play the American anthem, which in England a couple weeks ago happened, and we were on top of a double-decker bus. And, yeah, it's a very proud moment, because there aren't a lot of Americans that go overseas and get our national anthem played at races around the rest of the world. And so at that moment you remember it, because on the plane trip over there and in the car and testing and practice and qualifying and in the race, you're just there to win. But after it's all said and done, if you do win, that's when you hear the national anthem, that's really like the first time that you start to feel a little bit proud about that. So thanks for bringing that up. I think I am going, Nikki, to the race in Austria for Rallycross. That's the plan. What happened to your first car? Did you ever get it fixed? No, that was, I think you're talking about the '83 Civic wagon that I rolled 7 times in Virginia, and no, it's not fixed. It's long gone. By now it's probably been turned into, I don't know, bathroom door handles or something. Let's see. Have you checked out the new Dirt game, Jacqueline? A little bit. If you're talking about Dirt 3, is there another one? I don't know. But yeah, the latest Dirt game that I have is Dirt 3, and yes, I have checked it out. It's pretty awesome. If there is another one that I'm missing that I have a car in, let me know, because it would be silly if I didn't know that. How did I get started collecting mugs, Kim? Sometimes I'm worried that maybe some of you have too good of memories. I don't know when I mentioned that I collected mugs, but since the last cast, oh yeah, that's right. We walked over and we took a look, didn't we? There's been several added. In fact, somebody sent me from Scotland a mug gift. Thank you very much. It's, yeah, I got another Nürburgring mug. I think I got another mug from the UK, but I don't know how I got it. It was because I liked coffee, and it just seemed like, when you go someplace, I don't like those little silver spoons. So I figured mugs would be a good thing to keep to remember where you've been instead of like pins on a map or something like that. Have I been starstruck, Shannon? Absolutely. The first time I really felt starstruck. What? Well, okay, I'll be completely honest, and it's so funny because I saw her star on Hollywood Boulevard like 2 nights ago. Um, I don't remember what this woman looks like, but her name was Linda Evans, and she was on like Falcon Crest or Dynasty or some show like that, and I was like 6 years old, and I saw her in Washington, D.C. get out of a limo, and she's the first autograph I ever got. But the first time I was really starstruck because I knew who the person was and everything. I think Linda Evans, it was just because I sort of recognized her and she got out of a limo, and I thought that was amazing. But the first person I was starstruck who I actually knew their background was Colin McRae, and I was teammates with him for the Subaru team in 2006 at the X Games, and it was like, oh, Colin's here, oh, cool, great, and he's a teammate, he's a driver and everything, but then when I met him, it was like, oh my gosh, this is Colin McRae. He looks just like he does on TV, and blah blah blah, and he's a nice guy. I took him in my drift car, and became very friendly with him, and we had a great time that race and the next year. So that was one of the first times as an adult that I really got starstruck. And a lot of it just flat out has to be because I admire him, and I admired his, what he could do. And he's one of those guys that, frankly, lived up to every single one of those kinds of, heroic expectations you have of those kinds of people. Julia, hello, what up? Sorry you missed the first half. Thanks for joining. Geez, how did I get 6 minutes behind again? That's insane. I'm going to buzz forward just a little bit. I'm sorry. Jenna, doing an autocross school. Nice. In the 350Z, run with the traction control off, obviously. Never slide the front tires. And remember every single lap where you thought you could have got a little bit faster or hit the brakes a little bit later, and focus on never doing that twice. So when you don't brake late enough for one turn and you log that, and the next lap, make sure you make the change. So every single lap, make sure you make an improvement on those little bits around the track where you're like, oh crap, I could have braked a little later, or you got on the gas and you had way more track out room out of the corner than you thought you did, and you could have got on earlier and harder. So that's my advice, is take advantage of every single lap to always pretend like your race is after 3 laps, and you need to be as fast as possible after just 3 laps. Yeah, this thing is on, Nancy. Good luck this weekend in Paris. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I keep forgetting I'm leaving this afternoon for Paris. Haven't started packing yet. There's some laundry I hope that's going. Let's be serious, Eric. You really want to bring Top Gear to Canada. I think it's in Canada. I think it's old ones in Canada. But, yeah. I don't know if Canadians get pickup truck, gun shooting, spit slinging American style. We'll find out. Let's see. Laura. Oh, I know. We're not going to Portugal. Yeah, it's too bad. I love that track. And the Fiesta is really good on that track. But thank you for the good luck wishes. Appreciate that. Jill, I don't think I'm coming to Minnesota, but I have to be honest, if Top Gear goes for another season, then we could go anywhere. Connor, what do I have to say about a 15-year-old that doesn't come from Buddy and wants to be a rally racer? Where did I train? I got a job eventually at an ice driving school as an instructor, and that school was up in Steamboat, and I'd say that's probably where most of my training actually happened, like most of my car control. It's really where I fell in love with learning about car control. I'm still training right now, but it's, you have to learn the process of loving it, and, if you're on this Ustream right now, you probably do, so you're off to a good start, but try on ice. I wish, oh, you're coming to New Hampshire, Amanda. That's awesome. We'll see you. I don't know when that is. It's a couple months, but you know, it should be cool. Travis and Ken and Dave Mira and Bucky Lassick. I mean, there's all kinds of action stars that are going to be there, but it'll be great to meet you, Amanda. Do I think ERC and GRC would ever merge into one sanctioning body, Brian? That would be cool, but ERC is still where the most competition is at. I mean, there's 100 cars that will show up to this French round this weekend. GRC, I think, is much more of a show, X Games style, and hopefully the competition will come in. I know this year there are going to be some fast cars and fast drivers in GRC. So, but the organization is only a couple years old. I mean, we just had our first championship last year, where ERC in Europe has been going on since 1967. So there's a big disconnect between the two, but if there was some way to make it one great series that had a big show and big audience and great competition that ERC has, be the best of both worlds, really. I see Shannon's thing again. All right, I'm going to skip ahead. Curtimus, how can you send me stuff? I don't know what you would want to send me. But send an email to Victoria, maybe. I think there's an info at tfaustracing.com, and I think Victoria gets those emails. The new James Bond-esque watch. Okay, Kim, that watch, if it's the one I think you're talking about, it's not around here, but it's a Motorola thing that I got on the Men's Health electric car trip, and it's insane. I mean, the glass is like from an iPhone. You swipe along it. It has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. It keeps track of your heart rate through this Bluetooth heart rate monitor. It has music. You plug into it. You can answer your phone on it. I'm like a sales guy for it, but it's pretty crazy. It tracks which songs you're most productive to in your workouts, and so it will actually like play the music that matches the workout you're doing. It's nuts. Erica, your husband recently bought a Lexus ISF. Very cool. Stout car. He's done some mods but wants to do more and is wondering what is worth investing in. First of all, I would say investment and newer cars, those two words don't really go together since he's not going to make money on it. Investing as in like for fun. Okay, wish the damn thing could be quieter. Okay, he's obviously changed the exhaust because those things aren't all that loud really in general, but I'm sure he's having fun with it. I think the ISF, I don't know what kind of mods those things have, available. I know I would say probably the biggest thing is tires with that. If you're willing to change tires every 6,000 to 10,000 miles, putting on some softer rubber on that thing would wake that car up for sure. Also, I've seen some of them lowered just a little bit with like a suspension, like KW suspension or something would be nice. And being a Lexus, maybe it doesn't have the greatest seats, so maybe some Recaros or something like that, something with a little bit more grab. Probably one of the greatest modifications of that car would be a nicer driver's seat. Yes, Joy, I probably do. 9:44. I have basically another minute or so. Zach, I stopped drifting in Formula D a while ago because I wanted to get into Rallycross and I wanted to race in Europe and I wanted to do the next thing. I went and I judged for the team drift in Long Beach, and it was awesome to see everybody. The series is doing well. Formula D is still a great sanctioning body, so really stoked for them. They actually sold out the Formula D event before the gates even opened, which I think is the first time they've done that, and it's good for them. Really happy for them. And I did, however, take a Mustang, wrap it in Rockstar and Etnies and Ford stuff, and went up to Laguna Seca and drifted Laguna Seca. We'll have a video soon. That'll be kind of a low-key fun video. Victoria. Really, Victoria, you're asking me a question here? What is that about? What do you do if your check engine light keeps coming on because your secondary air intake has a misflow? Is it a mass airflow sensor? Did you make the mistake of putting a K&N or something on there and soaking it with oil and getting oil on your mass airflow sensor? It's probably the first thing I would check out with your your little Honda. But yeah, good luck, Victoria. I I thought you like had mechanic friends. You know, you got to get that fixed. Amanda, yes, we will meet in New Hampshire. I will see you there for sure. Michelle, hi. Forza or Gran Turismo? I think they're both really interesting. Forza has some cool stuff. Even Need for Speed has some cool stuff. How it kind of like when you get up to speed, it gives you a little tunnel vision, try to make you feel more like you're really at speed, which I think is amazing. Actually, that Need for Speed does that. Gran Turismo always has like the seems like the best car physics, but I gotta tell you, Forza is it's right there. Forza has that Top Gear connection too. Did I really become a man in a Cadillac Coupe de Ville, Julia? I'm just gonna move on. It was awesome though. It's a great caddy. Great caddy. I used to do brake stands at crosswalks with that thing. I shouldn't say that, but I was a punk. Do I remember the song I was playing in the 325 in the text episode? No, Michelle, because what happens is when they go into post-production and they edit things, anytime I come on the screen in a like 16 candles-ish BMW like that, they would throw on some 80s song that should have been in 16 candles, and that's just how that's how it was. So I wasn't actually listening to the music, or maybe there was a bit where I was singing. I don't remember what it was. It was a long time ago. The manure, I think, causes some sort of temporary amnesia. Thank you, Lisa, for the good luck. Karen, love you too. Thank you. And I don't know how to pronounce your name. Rhiannon. I think that's it. Currently a Mitsubishi GX and has been beaten. Any advice for the next car? I went from a GSX to an Evo and loved the transition. The Evo has a lot of the hardware out of the GSX, or the old ones did, the Evo 8 that I got, but that's great transition car. And then the typical thing is then to go to like an M3, an E46 is a good choice, which is where I went. And depends if you live in mountain states or not. Christopher Woodard, I used to know you when we were running for McKinney and made the switch to AEM. You're trying to pursue a driving career, commercials. It's a tough business to get into, Christopher. Oh, and I gave you a contact, okay, at Design Drive. If anyone were to pursue a professional driving career, where should they start? It's hard, but I would say drifting. Rallycross is decent. Rallycross needs to grow a little bit before it's going to be there. But even local drifting events, if you want to make a living driving, yeah, working for the ride and drive industry like Design Drive, Emotion, AMCI, there's all kinds of these companies out there that you can track down and find, but they're going to want to know that you have some sort of chops or that you know somebody. But yeah, if you have been on the track or you do autocross or anything like that, yeah, that's probably good enough to get a job at a lot of these types of marketing events where you're sometimes sitting right seat with people and coaching, and you're sometimes giving little talks about vehicle dynamics. It's really where I got over my fear of public speaking, was doing vehicle dynamics talks. How nerdy is that? But I still remember it to this day. Maybe one of these Ustreams I will do my vehicle dynamics talk that was exactly 17 minutes long. And it basically breaks down the physics of driving. And I did it for teen driving schools and racing schools and military programs and all sorts of stuff. But it was fun. Good times. Anyway, back to your question. Good luck with that. Tracy, you're welcome. My pleasure. It's always kind of fun looking at the little green light. But no, it's fun hearing the questions and seeing what you guys are into. Yes, Melly, I would love to do endurance racing. It was some of the most fun road racing that I've done in the past was like endurance racing, 5-hour races. I did a 25-hour race at Thunder Hill. It was with kind of a team with a Scion, and we had some mechanical problems, but we did finish the race, and I got to be in the car for the finish. It was awesome. But yeah, so and I have some old friends from a previous life that are running a LMP2 car that I may jump into a little bit. Oh, Okay, this message is for Victoria. On the Facebook app for the iPhone, your page doesn't show up on timeline format. So it's way easy to keep up. Oh, so you're saying... Oh, and Phil Collins rocks? Nice. Nice. So you're saying that I should be doing this on the iPhone. Okay. I'll consider that for the next one. That's awesome. I will have internet on the airplane, and I will check out the AEDC, the all-electric drift car Jackie. And this was an idea that I wanted to do for a long time, and we're gonna see how it comes off. Okay, I'm out of here. Joy, you're right. I need to go. Thank you guys very much. Amanda, I do plan on breaking some more world records. Cross fingers. We'll see how that goes. And Christopher, you are welcome. So geographical location is a factor, Christopher. So hopefully that works out. I mean, a lot of those companies are based in either Detroit or LA. Rhiannon, we'll see you there. And I'm still Marietta, Christopher. That's where you are, Marietta. Yeah, you're close. AMCI is just right over in Irvine. So and Detroit. But Jonah, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for coming. Sorry if I didn't get to your questions. Hopefully, when we do this again, which Victoria will definitely make that happen, I'll be able to get to your question if I missed it this time. I'm sorry, or you can send it to the Facebook page. I'm going to be in Paris and then be back next week. I'll be around to answer questions a little bit next week, and then it keeps hitting the fan with GRC coming up, and more ERC rounds, all building up to X Games in June. So thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.